Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So, anything changed since last time, Senator? We didn't. July 4th has come and gone. Now what?
Yeah. Well, you know, next week it's likely we'll have a vote on the final passage of financial regulation. There's about 176 rules that regulators will be putting in place over the course of the next year or so that will affect banks, and obviously that'll have an effect on banking in general as they look to see how those rules are going to be implemented. Much of this bill punted to regulators, and now so there'll be an uncertainty for a period of time that no doubt will affect the banking industry. But what's of interest to me is reading these IMF reports where they're basically looking at our country and being concerned about where we are. And I think that, look, we've got an administration that has assaulted our economy by virtue of the policies that they've put in place. One of the great antidotes to debt certainly is economic growth, and yet we continue with policies that, in my opinion, create a lot of unpredictability and concern among those people that make investments and create jobs. And that's an issue that we have to overcome. So that, to me, should be our focus today. I think these policies that we've been working on over the last year and a half have been job killers. We need to move on beyond that. I am heartened by the fact that the administration is beginning to look at free trade. Let's face it. The fact is we need to export our goods to other countries. These trade agreements benefit us. They don't hurt us. And I am somewhat heartened by that activity.
Michael Farr wants to get a question
Michelle.
in here. Hey, Senator.
Senator, Dallas Fed President Richard Fisher did an interview with Steve Leisman earlier this week, and he basically said that he thought that the Federal Reserve had done quite enough at this point in providing stimulus and liquidity, that there was plenty of liquidity out there in the marketplace right now, and the reason that it wasn't moving was because of policy uncertainty created by Washington, and that legislators really needed to get out of the way and let the economy recover. Is he right in placing the burden in Washington's lap?
I think a big part of the blame should be placed in Washington. The activism that has taken place there that creates that unpredictability is quite a problem. On the other hand, I agree, I've been listening for the last 15 or 20 minutes. There is a lack of demand. I mean, when you talk to bankers about making loans, they're having difficulty finding creditworthy loans to be made. We still have the pale of commercial real estate. I mean, these stress tests that were done over the last 6 or 8 months were interesting. They were more psychological than anything else, but we still have hundreds of billions of dollars of bad debt on these bank balance sheets. So we've got a lot of things that right now are working against the economy. Part of it is our activism in Washington. We need to move away from that, stop, settle down. But part of it is this whole issue of demand and the heavy weight of indebtedness on consumers today. I mean, let's face it, our policies here in America really push people towards indebtedness. I was interested to see the IMF actually taking that on yesterday.